Here we go again. My name is Mimmi from C-Mimmi-O and welcome to the channel. This time I wanted to discuss the matter of how to start vibe coding, as I've been so interested and into it, and I've gotten a lot of questions on how should they start. And this is a kind of a short recap on what to do to get going. I have a couple of tools on my laptop that have just completely changed how I work as a marketer, and it's very different from what I've done in the past 16 years of my marketer's journey. It's nothing about a smarter CRM or anything like that, or better analytics. It's about building software yourself as a marketer without a developer over a weekend or in a couple of hours. That's what Vibecoding is about. And this video, I'll get you started too. So let's start. Okie dokie. So the actual term for Vibecoding is something that was coined early 2025 by Karpati, and he described it as building software using plain language and letting AI then generate the code based on that. And from my part, I have to say that I keep learning. The more I actually do, the more I improve. I've written code earlier or already, but I didn't like it. But I really enjoy this, that I can check the code, I can improve my prompts, and just describe what I want the system to do, or the tool to do, or the website to be like, in English or in Finnish or any other language. And so instead of hiring a developer, I can learning the code myself. I just open the tool I've chosen and type in my prompt. And I want to be honest here, it's not magic. And you will need to iterate, and you will make prompts that will break a previous prompt. You will make changes that you need to walk back, and things affect others, so you also need to be repairing, you need to take care of security, you need to learn all of those as well. So it's not like this. You still need to have governance, you still need to have planning, you still need to have a grip over the entire product that you're creating. You need to understand it in a more higher level before you actually move on. What I see mattering for specifically for marketers is that why should a marketer care about building software? What I decided is that because the gap between the great marketing idea and the execution, it was always controlled by someone else. It was always on someone else's hands when, how, in which priority it gets done by a developer. There's a budget pending, there's 6 weeks of backlog somewhere. So it collapses that gap altogether, because that can be frustrating. I truly know that. Whether it's the ROI calculator that you need, or a personalized demo microsite, lead qualification chatbot, all of that, when you are in control of the build, you also control the iteration, because it's again not dependent on someone else's work. You can change the copy very easily and fast. You can adjust the flow. You can test different call to actions, and instead of weeks, doing it in minutes. So you are able to also improve those tools or pages or whatever you're building. You can really make changes quite fast. And I think that is really a superpower for a marketer who is really interested in being fast on a market. Vibecoding really does make you multi-talent, because even though you don't become an exact developer, and they have their place, I'm not in any way saying that we can just scrap all developers. These are meant for something else, in my opinion. Of course, you can also build greater systems and tools with Vibecoding, but that also then requires a bit of different mindset if we're talking about marketing type Vibecoding, or actual system level or solution level type of Vibecoding. Then you also need to have some business intelligence to put into those systems that you're building. So, but this is thinking about for marketers when they're kind of quick and easy type of solutions. But I think the main thing here is that the waiting is gone. Okay, now everyone's, well, yeah, but how do I start? So let's get to the practical steps here. You need to pick a tool, and it would be good to commit to it. I have used Lovable and Cursor. I use them a bit differently for different reasons and different places. But Lovable, for example, it's very accessible to non-developers because it does generate the full stack application and handles the database and authentication. So that's something you don't need to worry about. But there are other tools: Vault, Replit, Cursor, for example, Copilot, AI tools. I mean, there are so many. Claude, Gemini, all of them offer these services. But if you want this kind of quick and easy solution, I think that for a marketer, Lovable makes sense, because there's also a free tier for you to start thinking about your building and what to do first. So I think that's a very easy step for you to take. But if you're more let's say ready to go a bit deeper, of course there are other tools as well. So that's all up to you. But first, pick a tool. Step 2, pick the problem that is most annoying to you. What is kind of the feeling that hinders the sales most? Not just something that will look fancy and nice, because that's something that it's very hard to then sell to the whole of the other company. If you build something useful that will speed up sales or help sales get more data, or shorten the sales cycle or something like that, that will actually have an impact to the bottom line. Start with something like that. For myself, I actually started with a tracking tool for my work because well, I have ADHD and I have a really hard time focusing and making sure that I do everything I do. So I needed something that will fix that, or at least try to put that into one bunch. So that's something that realistically is trying to help me. So that's my tip. Solve an actual problem, not something that will look beautiful. Then how to start. The third part is how to start prompting, and that's something that how to describe it. You should when you're writing a brief to your developer, like you just put a spec. In itself, it's not enough. You should be able to tell on what you need out, what it needs to perform, what needs to be the outcome. Try to describe the purpose of the thing you're building, then add your specs to it, what you need from it, and then give it some threshold alert figures and stuff like that that need to be there. So, but keep your first prompt like clean and minimal, but make sure it has the kind of things that the system understands. What are we building here? I think it's good to keep your prompts clear, but make sure that the system still understands what you want it to do, because AI, artificial intelligence, suggests that there's some intelligence. There's not. It's not intelligent. It's not smart. It doesn't understand. It doesn't think itself that when you give it clues, it will understand. Nope. You have to actually tell it what you want it to do. And then it starts to iterate. And then it's time to start iterating. So if something doesn't work, scrap it or change it, give another prompt, describe that this is not wrong because this and this, and I wanted it to work like this. I wanted to see that this is crooked. For example, it looks nice on desktop, but on mobile there's overflowing over the screen. Or make the very clear, understandable prompts about what you want the tool to iterate and fix. I think the best thing about the Vibecoding workflow is this back and forth iterating. Even though sometimes I'm really annoyed that it broke something that I done earlier because I added some feature, and then I have to tell that, hey, this still needs to work. But it still kind of releases your innovation and creative side when you get to see it develop the more you think about it. And then lastly, which is not where I shine, but you should know when to stop and ship. Done is better than perfect. So when you keep improving your Vibecoded tool forever and ever, people never get to use them. You have to get it to some 80%, have it tested by someone, put it in front of someone, let them use it, and get a few feedbacks, and then put it out there. And then you can again keep iterating as it is shipped. You don't have to stop the iteration after you ship it. You can, because as said, you don't need the developer who has the backlog. You can still iterate it yourself, or if it's good enough that the market seems to like it, then you can transfer the code base to your developer, and they can actually take over and start working with it in a different way. When you have like done your own proto and it seems to be working in a way that it's good enough for the market, then you can transfer it to a developer, and they can think of more sides to it. And I also want to remind you of security. So there are, for example, ready-made tools that will you can connect, and they can read your for example, I have in my GitHub several projects and repositories, and then I have a few security tools that I've granted access to read through the code and find if there are vulnerabilities, boxes, or errors that I need to fix. The AI tools, if you tell them to run security testing and stuff like that, they will do it, but they miss quite a lot. So I recommend to have another solution on top of that to make sure that you're actually also creating something that is safe to use. Okay, what to do with your build then? Most of the Vibecoding videos hardly talk about it. What then? When you've built something that really works and people find it useful, how should you actually turn it into something commercially valuable that you can actually monetize? And I think that this is something that a marketer has a enormous advantage of being just a pure, not just a, sorry, that's disrespectful to developers because they are amazing, but it gives an advantage over developers when you are a marketer and when you have the point of view of how do I monetize it, how do I productize this, how do I bring it to the market. I know there are a lot of Vibecoders that just launch something, post it, and then cross their fingers and hope to make it. But that's not a marketing strategy, that's hope. What you should do is position your product before you launch it. Who is this for exactly? What problem does it solve? Why would someone use this? And these are marketing questions, and you need to be able to answer them so that you can have a good landing page copy, because they have to be your words. If you can also put your AI to do that for you, but sometimes they create gibberish there. Most of the time, sorry. Use the build process as a content itself. All the iterations give you kind of ideas on, because you know what you had to improve there to make it work. So why did you do those? What it made it work better? So try to capture that journey into storytelling about what were you trying to solve. And you can even document the journey so that people see what you're doing and what is happening, what is evolving. You also need to tell what the tool is. You need to describe it like very simply with a one sentence. This is a lead magnet tool. This is an ROI calculator. This is a demo microsite. This is my project management tool. So that people will immediately understand what are they looking at. You should also be creating trust around your project from day one, especially here in Europe. I'm from Finland, but here data privacy matters. There's things that you need to be taking care of: GDPR compliance, privacy policies, how data is stored in EU, and you have to have a real person they can contact and make sure that there are legal boxes that you tick. These are marketing assets, because then you can also ensure that your customers know that you have taken care of the security issues, and for example also accessibility, which is now coming into play, that you need to be able to make your tool or your website accessible to anyone. And you need to be able to know the laws and legal requirements, not just if you're in EU, but also locally in your country. And in any countries, you also need to be making sure that you're ticking the boxes. So that was my fast forward, quick how to get going part. I don't think Vibecoding will ever replace developers. It's not going to make software engineering irrelevant, but it does give people like me, and maybe you if you're watching, the marketers, strategists, founders, consultants, innovators that are not familiar with coding, the ability to build the thing that they can kind of see in their eyes what they're really looking forward to bringing, and they can get started, and they can build the prototype or even a complete solution up to some point. And the bottleneck disappears of innovation. I think that's the biggest thing that comes out of it. I think that the strategy and the execution are finally still in the same hands. To me, it means that strategy and executions are finally in the same hands. And then afterwards, you can evolve and get more developers and deepen the knowledge and improve in a better way, have architecture, design in a more important way, improve your integration and all that. But my tip to you is just get going. Go to check a tool, sign up, build something small, get the feel of it, and get innovating. That's my tip. And I have written some stuff on my blog. I'll make a list of links. I'll add a list of links to the comments, so you can go check some tool-specific tips, for example. And I think that's all for me now. Bye.